Okay, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to this month's Alarm Comp webinar. My name is Piotr Doletsky. I'm the National Product Manager of CCTV at Alarm Corp, and we will be starting shortly. I just want to give it a couple more minutes and wait for some of the stragglers to join us. So just bear with me. And today's webinar is on an update of the TruVision DVR portfolio and an update on the integration. So thank you for joining, and let's get started. Before we get too far into the webinar, let's just get a little bit of housekeeping out of the way. Now, some of you may have used the GoToMeeting before. For those of you who haven't, you can see the toolbar on your right. Things to note, the attendee list is, if it's available, you see the grab tab. You can click an arrow to open or close the control panel. Now, you see here the raise hand icon. Can I just verify that you can all hear me? Can I get you all just to click on that to raise your hand? Okay, great. I'm seeing some hands going up. Okay, if you click on that icon once again, that'll put your hand down. Thank you. Now next, the microphone icon. All of you will be muted during this presentation, and which brings us to the next point, questions. You are welcome to ask questions either during the webinar or at the end. Just type your question into the question tab, and then just remember to hit send, and I will go through all of the questions at the end of the webinar. Okay, let's get started. The agenda for today's webinar is we will cover updates on the following: the TruVision DVR portfolio, which includes all of the available TruVision DVRs. We will go through the TruVision NVR portfolio. This is the network video recorder portfolio for recording IP cameras. We will have a look at the available software that includes TruVision Navigator and a brief overview of Security Commander and FC Winx as they relate to the DVRs. We will cover the end-of-life products in the UTC Fire and Security DVR portfolio, and we will also go through, I guess, some of the things that the integration allows you to do with the DVR systems. Okay, starting off with the TruVision TVR10. This is the entry-level 4-channel H.264 DVR. It is designed to record 4 analog cameras, and it encodes the cameras into H.264. It is a released product, it is in stock, and it is shipping. It is available in 2 flavors. With either a 500 gigabyte hard disk or a 1 terabyte hard disk. Since this product was released, there have been, I guess, 2 changes. The first one is that the 250 gig model has been discontinued. The base model is now 500 gig, and it is at the same price as what the old 250 gig unit was. Next change, the current firmware version is version 2.4. As released, the product was version 2.0. Now version 2.4 adds a little bit more programming flexibility. It now permits you to do combined time-lapse and motion detection recording. And I guess a key benefit of that is that you do have more flexible configurations possible. Other than that, it is proven to be a very popular and very successful product. If we look at integration, the TruVision TVR10 can be integrated into Mastermind, it can be integrated into FC Winx, and it can be integrated with Security Commander. So they are the 3 high-level integration options, and we will go through later as to what that integration allows you to do. If we look at the remote access options, the means to accessing this DVR remotely, we have the TruVision Navigator, formerly known as GENav. Next, we have the inbuilt web browser, and we have the iPhone TruVision mobile app. So we will go through each of these in a little bit more detail in subsequent slides. So that covers the TruVision TVR10. I guess one other thing that's maybe worth noting, the TruVision TVR10 is actually a fanless design, which means it's a very quiet DVR in operation. So if you are looking at using something in a, shall we say, residential or more noise critical area, then the fanless design does make the TruVision TVR10 a useful option. Okay, next we have the TruVision TVR30. Now this is an entry-level 8 and 16 channel H.264 DVR. It is also a current product. It is released in stock and it is shipping. It is available in two models, one with an 8 channel and one with a 16 channel. This refers to analog channels. This is once again a DVR that's designed for recording analog cameras. And within the 8 and 16 channel versions, we have 500 gigabyte as the basic capacity, and then you have either a 1 terabyte and a 2 terabyte, or a 1 terabyte and a 3 terabyte version available on the 16 channel. Now, very important update. The current firmware version inside the TVR30 is version 6300, and this contains numerous bug fixes as well as updates to ActiveX certificates. It also gives you the option to change the screen resolution. Because it does contain bug fixes, this is actually a recommended/required update. So if you have any sites where you are running the TVR30 and it is running a previous version, it is recommended that you plan to upgrade the DVRs on site at the earliest possible time. Now, if you need access in or help in getting the firmware, or you need assistance in actually what the upgrade process is, then send me an email and I will make that information available to you. Now, the TVR30 is a little bit more limited in its integration at the present time. It integrates with Security Commander. However, FC WinX is planned for September. There is no FC WinX as at today. Now, as far as remote access, once again, we have TruVision Navigator, formerly known as GENav. We have the web browser from a normal Windows-driven PC, and access with the iPhone is possible, but it is via the Safari browser that's inbuilt to the iPhone, not via the application. Okay. Next, we have the TruVision TVR40. Now, this is a slight step up from the TVR30. Once again, this device is available in either an 8 or 16 channel version. It is released, it is in stock, and it is shipping. The major difference is that this device, the TVR40, allows you to have a capacity of up to 12 terabytes. Like the TVR30, it permits you real-time recording in a SIF per channel, but it does give you a much higher recording capacity. In terms of integration, it is also a step up from the TVR30. It gives you integration to Mastermind, FC WinX, and Security Commander. So you can see straight away that the TVR40 does give you slightly more integration options versus the TVR30. In terms of remote access, once again, we have the TruVision Navigator, we have the inbuilt web browser, and like the TruVision TVR10, we have the iTVR mobile application. Next, we have the TruVision TVR60. Now, this is the flagship of the TruVision line. Unlike the other recorders that we've discussed up until now, the TVR60 is a hybrid recorder. It can record both analog cameras and IP cameras, and total number of channels is up to 24 channels. It is released, it is in stock, and it is shipping, and it has again proven to be a very popular product. Now, the TVR60 is effectively a replacement for the SIMDEC product. TVR60 is available in capacities from 1 all the way up to 12 terabytes, And key feature is that the TVR60 does support the new TruVision megapixel cameras, which are available in either a 1.3 megapixel or a 2 megapixel resolution. And with the megapixel cameras, if you want a bit more information on those, again, drop me an email. I will only say that those products are also now available and now shipping, and there is a range of options available both in indoor and outdoor / vandal-proof housings. In terms of integration capabilities, once again, the TVR60 does integrate to Mastermind, it integrates to FC-WinX, and it integrates to Security Commander. At this point in time, there is no force field integration. However, it is in the planning stages. I do not have additional information at this point in time. However, as soon as I do have additional information, that will be communicated. Remote access to the TruVision TVR60. Again, we have the TruVision Navigator, we have web browser, and the iPhone TruVision mobile application. So that is the TruVision TVR60. Of the DVRs discussed up until now, this is the only one that has hybrid capability. The total channel capacity, just to recap, is 24 channels. Within that 24 channel, you can have up to 16 cameras being IP cameras. And again, if you want more information on the TVR60, please contact me. Now we move over to the NVR range, the TruVision NVR20. This is available in two versions, either as a 12 channel or as a 24 channel NVR. It is a released product, it is in stock, and it is shipping. The 12 channel comes with 2 terabytes on board at the moment, and the 24 channel has 4 terabytes on board. There is a new firmware version or VOS video operating system coming for this product in the near future. The major changes will bring us, this will allow the product to support the TruVision megapixel cameras. I believe that release is fairly soon. I don't have a date yet, however, it is imminent, and as soon as I have more information, that will be made available. Integration to the NVR20 is also Mastermind, FC-WinX, and Security Commander. And remote access to the NVR20 is via the TruVision Navigator and via the web browser. And now we move over to a brand new product, which is the NVR20, also known as the TVN20. This will be a 16-channel H.264 NVR. This product is not yet released. It will be released fairly soon, and this will be available in a 16 IP channel version in capacities ranging from 2 all the way up to 16 terabytes. This product will support the TruVision IP cameras and TruVision megapixel cameras. However, it will also support a range of third-party products, including Acti, Aricont, Axis, and Panasonic. And more information on exactly which models are supported will be made available. This will record up to 5 megapixel in resolution. It will be integrated to Mastermind and Security Commander. And once again, remote access will be via TruVision Navigator and web browser. Okay. Now we move over to the end-of-life products. Now the end-of-life products were sent out earlier this year in March for the DVMRE and DVMRE Pro / StoreSafe series, and in May for the SimSafe and SimDeck products. So those products are now end-of-life. They are no longer available. Obviously, if the products are in need of repair, they can be repaired by UTC. However, they are no longer shipping. And it's worth to start thinking about any legacy sites with regards to a potential upgrade path, migration path for the future. Okay. Remote Access Navigator. TruVision Navigator version 4. It will be available for download sometime this week. It is an upgrade or a replacement to the existing GENAV version 3.1. Like version 3.1, this is a cost-free, license-free bit of software. The main benefit of Navigator is that it gives you central management for all TruVision recorders. It gives you simultaneous access to multiple DVRs, and that permits you live view, playback, exporting footage, configuration, as well as local recording to your TruVision Navigator PC. A key strength is that it gives you legacy DVR support. So all of the DVRs that were listed previously as EOL products, TruVision Navigator still works with those products. And a big step up from the current version of GENAV, TruVision Navigator version 4 will allow you to view up to 75 cameras simultaneously on 3 monitors. Now that is of course subject to having a suitably powerful PC with a suitable graphics card. But I hope that you can see from that if you have got larger systems with more cameras, the TruVision Navigator gives you the option to manage even larger systems. Okay, remote access via web browser. At this stage, it is Internet Explorer that's recommended. Other browsers such as Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, etc. have not yet been really tested, so we do not recommend that you do use them. And at this stage, we recommend that you use Internet Explorer 8. There are some known issues with Internet Explorer 9, particularly with the TVR30. Now, web browser is cost-free, license-free. Web browser allows you to access any single DVR at any one time, and it gives you the ability to do live view, to do playback. You can actually export footage via web browser. You can also do local configuration of a DVR, and you can record locally to the PC that's running the web browser. You have a screenshot here of the web browser from a TruVision TVR10, and as you can see, we can have 4 cameras on screen at any one time. We have the option of PDZ control, which you can see on the right of the screen, and we have the option to do playback, configuration, and viewing the device's log along the top toolbar. Next, we see here the web browser screen from the TruVision TVR30, a slightly different presentation, but again, more or less the same key functionality, that you can view multiple cameras, you can select which cameras to view, you can go into the device to do configuration, and you can view playback, and you can view playback and you can export footage, excuse me. In this current screenshot, this is from a 16:9 widescreen. You can actually force it into the classic 4:3 aspect ratio as well, which is the button in the bottom row. So that's the web browser. I guess the key difference between TruVision Navigator and web browser is that the TruVision Navigator is an application that you actually need to install on a PC, and obviously in order to install on a PC you do need admin rights to that PC, whereas with the web browser you don't actually need to install any software. All that you need to do is fire up Internet Explorer, and if you can physically access the IP address of the DVR, you will be able to access the functionality that's shown here. Okay, a little bit more on web browser access. This is showing you some examples from the TVR60. That's what the normal login screen looks like. So you put in the login details. Next, we have got the live view screen, which shows you cameras on the left. You can select multiple camera views. The default is the 16-way camera view, but however you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, you can select single camera, quad camera, 9 cameras, all the way up to 25 cameras. And again, you can do pan-tilt zoom control, you can go into the local configuration, you can go into playback, you can view the log of the device to allow you to do any troubleshooting / diagnostics. And of course, you can save snapshots and live and export footage as well. If you go into the configuration screen, you can see here from the screenshot that the configuration screen is actually quite powerful. You can specify individual device parameters. You can change your camera titles, you can change your streaming information, you can change your recording schedules, you can set your motion detection. So pretty much everything that you can do from the TruVision Navigator, you can do with the web browser on the TVR60. Again, major difference is you can only do this on a single DVR at any one time. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the iPhone application with regards to access. The application is called iTVR Mobile or TVR Mobile, and you can find it on iTunes. It is only available for download from the iTunes App Store. However, it is a free application. What it allows you to do is it allows you to view up to 4 cameras simultaneously, and you can do it from up to 4 DVRs simultaneously. In other words, you can have 1 camera per DVR. You can do live view, you can save snapshots of what you're seeing, and of course if you have pan-tilt zoom cameras connected to your DVR, then you can do pan-tilt zoom control. This is a screenshot from the iTVR Mobile. These are basically your options: live view for selecting live view, devices, and some additional configuration settings. Once you select live view, what you see is a screen like this. The cameras are presented in a quad format. Double tapping any one of the cameras brings that camera up into a single view, and along the bottom you can see you can stop streaming of the camera and you can take a snapshot, and the rightmost icon is your pan tilt zoom icon, again valid if you have a pan tilt zoom camera. The rate of refresh on the iPhone application is actually quite good. It obviously does depend heavily on what the uplink speed is from the DVR's remote site. If you're on a site where it's a fairly slow ADSL connection, that will limit your refresh and image quality more than if you're on a site with a very high speed ADSL 2+ connection. As with most iPhone applications, you can select it to view either in the classic portrait format or in the landscape format. Probably the only real weakness of the iPhone iTVR application is that, particularly on the iPhone version 3, it does tend to run the battery down fairly quickly, so just be aware of that it does tend to use a bit more battery power. And I mean, that's normal anytime you are streaming graphics. That does become more processor intensive. Okay. Now, what happens if you don't own an iPhone, but you own a smartphone that's running either Windows Mobile or Android as your operating system? The good news is that there is an access option. It's called a smartphone access. There are 2 versions available, either Windows Mobile or Android. It can be downloaded cost-free from the following link, UTC fssecurityproductpages.eu. Basically, once you get to that page, it is quite a lengthy page. You scroll down towards nearly the bottom, and you just pick the version that you need to download. And when you download it, I think it's a 20-odd meg download. It's got the installation instructions as well. So basically, pick the version and unzip it and follow the instructions. In terms of appearance, it's very similar to the iPhone app in that you can also view up to 4 cameras simultaneously, up to 4 DVRs, and it gives you pretty much the same functionality. It just runs on a different platform. So that's the smartphone app. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about what's possible with integration. And in this case, let's talk a little bit about Mastermind. Typically what you want with Mastermind is that you want live view of video from within the central monitoring station. So let's say our remote site in this case happens to be a shop with a warehouse. If there is an alarm that's been triggered at the remote site, whether it's a video motion detection alarm or whether it's a hardwired alarm, it is automatically transmitted to the remote, to the central monitoring station. And the central monitoring station can then view the live video and verify that yes, there is somebody on site. So it allows you video verification of alarms at remote sites. Of course, it allows you PTZ control of remote cameras, and of course, you can search for video and do things like time sync of DVRs. Okay, so that's integration number one. If we look at integration number two, and this is an example of what is possible with programs like FC Winx or Facility Commander. Again, obviously, we have the option of live view from the management station. But the biggest strength is that you've got the ability to trigger events or alarm recording on a system-wide basis. Now, maybe let me elaborate on that a little bit more. Obviously, with any single DVR, you can configure the DVR that if it sees motion on its camera, it can trigger motion on that camera. And with most of the TruVision DVRs, you can actually also have associated cameras being triggered on the same DVR. Once you step up to the integrated platform, it means you can use events from one DVR to trigger recording, trigger events on another DVR that might be another part of the system. As an example, let's say you have a DVR in building 1 and a DVR in building 2 on a university, and some of the cameras are overlooking a common area. You've had cameras on one being triggered, and you then wish to manually trigger the cameras in the other building. This is something that you can configure if you are running these high-level integration systems. It's not really possible without the high-level integration. And again, you can send cameras to PTZ upon event alarm, up to 4 cameras per event, and those 4 cameras can be on different DVRs. So again, we're talking about that system-wide possibility that you can use the higher level software to trigger multiple DVRs of the one event. And of course, there is video verification of any event/alarm. You can tag video footage to an access event. For example, if a door has been accessed, you can do system-wide searches for video after the event, save images, save video clips, create evidence CDs, and quite useful, the ability to time sync DVRs. And if you do have a larger system with multiple DVRs, the ability to time sync the DVRs is useful, so that when you are looking at footage from multiple DVRs, they're all showing the same time and date. Okay, I guess just on a slightly different topic, DVR networking and remote access tips. Anytime you have a central monitoring station, whether it's Mastermind, whether it's Facility Commander, Security Commander, etc., and you're dealing with remote DVRs, quite often those DVRs will be on narrow or limited bandwidth connections. So in order to get the maximum out of the limited connection, you want to do things like limiting the number of cameras that you're looking at simultaneously. You want to look at reducing the bandwidth or quality settings to the lowest acceptable settings. What this will do is it'll give you faster update, faster refresh times, and also faster connection times. And this is something that you can verify yourself if you try and connect to a remote location with TruVision Navigator. You'll see that if it is a slower site, selecting the lower bandwidth stream does give you better refresh. And the final tip, using presets for PTZ control. It is a lot faster and easier to send a camera to a preset on a low bandwidth connection than it is to manually try and drag it to a particular spot because of the inherent latency. And if you look at most PTZ cameras these days, they will have typically 64 or more presets. Most of the sites I've seen, you will struggle to see more than about 3 or 4 presets that are configured. And if you do take the time to configure up to 64 presets, even if they're only a few degrees of travel, it actually makes it very easy to almost walk a camera along a perimeter just by recalling presets. And it is a lot faster than if you were to try and drag that camera manually. So hint there is, cameras have presets, takes very little time to program them, use them. Okay. That more or less brings us to the end of the main information that we wanted to cover today. If you would like to know more information, including product brochures and data sheets, may be found on our website, www.alarmcorp.com.au. It may be found also on the G Security website. I would invite you to subscribe to the Alarm Corp Pulse. If you haven't done so yet, you can do that online with alarmcorp.com.au. You can also register to our e-commerce platform, where you will be able to get online pricing and order placement. Please contact your nearest Alarm Corp representative, which is Jonathan Johnson in New South Wales. His email address is listed, as is his phone number. Stephen Dinger in Victoria, South Australia and WA. Again, the email address is listed, as is the phone number. Or you can contact myself, Piotr Tolecki, direct. That is my direct mobile phone number, 0421-378-334, and my email address, prd@alarmcorp.com.au. So that is more or less the end of the current webinar. However, we will be running additional webinars on CCTV to the remainder of this year, and the following webinars will still be held. In August, we will be running a webinar on network video versus classical video. In September, we will be talking about video motion detection. In October, we will be talking about CCTV fundamentals, light and cameras. And finally, in November, we will be talking about megapixel cameras in a little bit more detail. So that will be titled megapixel cameras, mega performance, or mega myth. So if you've enjoyed this webinar, I would very much invite you to join the subsequent webinars later this year. On top of the CCTV webinars, we will also be running webinars on access control and intrusion detection related topics. These will be run by my colleague Jeff Rushton, and I would urge you to contact Jeff for more details of those up and coming webinars. And Jeff may be contacted on jmr@alarmcorp.com.au. And once again, we look forward to your participation. Okay, finally, Alarm Corp will be relaunching its website fairly soon, so that'll be a new look for the website. I would invite you to register. For those of you who do register during this month, you can get an additional 10% off on first e-commerce purchase during July. So basically go to alarmcorp.com.au and click on sign up. Now, finally we get to question time. As discussed before, if you have any questions, please type your question in and remember to hit the send button, and I will be waiting for your questions as they come in. Thank you. Okay, look, I'm happy to take questions on any topic that we discussed today. I will wait a few more minutes, and if there are no more questions, then I will thank you. Then again, thank you for your time. So over to you.